What's up, party people? My name is Sunny Ray. This is the Sunny Ray Show. Back, we have a bunch of really exciting interviews lined up today. My first guest, his name is Alejandro. He is quite an interesting fellow. He's the company that he's the co-founder of is called Silicon Valley Certification Hub. Alejandro spent 15 years building growth engines for some of the biggest names in consulting, media, and mobility, including Bain and Co., Time Inc., and several others, including DiDi. So, where he ran analytics and growth marketing for global strategy. He's an economist by training. He wrote the book Alexa Make Me Rich on applying AI to digital marketing before most executives could even spell LLM. 2 years ago, he co-founded Silicon Valley Certification Hub with Daniel Gomez. The premise is simple and contrarian. Everyone is racing to adopt AI. Almost nobody can prove they're doing it right. So let's bring on Alejandro. Hey, Alejandro, how you doing, bud?
Hi, how are you, Sonny? Doing well, thank you. How about you? How's everything going?
I'm great. I hit the gym this morning, and for me, days that I don't know, start the day off right, it's usually always perfect. So I'm excited about our conversation. So are you in sunny California right now, or where are you calling from?
Yeah, in San Francisco. Well, actually, I live in San Francisco, but this month I'll be in Mexico City because we have a big client here. So I'm between Mexico City, Latin America, but I'm based in San Francisco.
Cool. I think I told you, right? I'm gonna be in Oaxaca in a month or so. For my business partner lives down there. I think we chatted about it earlier, but we can talk about it later. So I guess kick us off. What is it that you what is Silicon Valley Certification Hub? What are you building? Why are you building it? And we'll keep it like short and high level now, but go deeper into it obviously later on in the interview.
Yeah, for sure. So, high level, overall, we know that executives and everybody feels that they need to adopt AI. And the tools are not the problem. The tools are working amazing. ChatGPT, OpenClaw, Claude, everything works well. And every time works better. But what is happening is that the executive team doesn't have the right understanding as a leadership of what to do, like where to apply in processes, what are the right metrics to measure, like how to take decisions with all that. So what we do is help the companies, the executive teams, to lead in the right direction to align artificial intelligence and all the LLMs with their strategy. So we're doing that now.
That's super interesting. What I'm just curious, like again, I know I said keep it high level, but why did you start this? Like, how did you? Yeah, like what was your kind of reason behind it?
That's an interesting question and an interesting path during all this because we started as a company to certify executives, like individuals, like mid managers, directors, who wants to understand AI as an executive. So we create the Chief AI Officer program that you can find in our website, actually, and we have a lot of learnings from that. And one of the key learnings is that per se is not just the manager or the director, is the whole executive team, because you need to that all the team understands what are the capabilities of AI and where are the opportunities. So actually we started as a B2C, direct to consumers, but eventually we realized that the big opportunity is B2B. So that was a path after talking with a lot of investors, VCs, executives, and all that. We have been changing and pivoting overall, and that's how we move from this solution to directors and managers to a corporative solution.
That's super interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of like go deeper into that. But let's kind of start back at the beginning, right? So Alejandro, you grew up in Mexico City and studied economics. Like what did young Alejandro want to be, and what did your family think you would become?
Well, that was actually, I never thought that my path will be this. And that's super interesting because, like, like at the end, my career has been now in artificial intelligence. Previous to that, I was leading a strategy team for growth marketing at a ride hailing company like Didi, or AKA the Chinese Uber. But that didn't exist when I was studying my bachelor. When I was studying economics, usually the paths were, or you go to work in government or NGOs or like big companies, maybe consulting. That was like the only options there. It wasn't even Uber right there. Facebook was starting, like tech was starting to, like, I have my laptop, but besides Microsoft things, I didn't use other things, maybe some MATLAB and statistical tools. But I think that as economist, it gave me all the basis of statistics, of business understanding, that eventually I was pivoting during all my career, working first for a media company, writing things, then in relationships with the government, and then like jumping to strategy, then strategy in growth marketing or digital marketing, and now artificial intelligence. So it has been really interesting jumps, but I will never imagine that 20 years ago that will be my career in things that didn't exist at that moment in time.
That's super interesting. And then you also worked at Bain and Co, right? And that's essentially a machine for teaching structured thinking. Like, what's the one habit from consulting you still use every single day, and like, what's the one that you had to kind of like unlearn or let go of?
For sure. So I think at Bain was a really exciting time, short time of my career, but that gave me a lot of a structure in my way of thoughts. It gave me how to create frameworks and how to align, how to face a complex problem, breaking into small pieces, analyze each one of them, prioritize, and resolve something that as a whole was really complicated, and go phase by phase and actually give results, give recommendations, and an overall break up that problem.
And then later on, you joined DiDi, right? Which is, like you said, the Chinese Uber. Like, what was it like inside that machine, and how different was the operating culture from Bain or Univision?
You, uh, sorry, I didn't realize that it was a problem with my booking. But let me ask, could you repeat that question?
Oh no, it's okay. But you have to run, or what? Sorry, what did you? What happened? Yeah, are you okay? Do you need
Yeah,
a couple? Do you need a minute?
I think that I could need a minute.
Yeah, take a
Uh,
minute. That's fine. Do you wanna? Do you wanna? Is everything okay, or do you wanna? Like, I can cancel the live stream. We can do it another time if that's easier. Is everything okay, or?
yeah, just like I need to move to another space, because I'm in a WeWork and I
Yeah, you
booked
could take
just
a
a certain
minute. Yeah,
time.
you could take a minute if you. But do you have another spot? If not, like I said, we can reschedule if that's easier as well.
No, I think we can pause like 1 minute and then
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
come
I can
back.
wait for you. No problem. Take your time. I'll wait for
Perfect.
you,
Thank you. I'll be back.
like they say. What's up, everybody? Okay, so since I'm here and I'm talking to Air for a minute or two while he finds, I'll just tell everybody about sunnyray.com. What a great thing to talk about. Yeah, check it out. I've been working on it recently, put a lot of changes into it. Yeah, and let me know your feedback. Additionally, this is a great time to talk about the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. If you're into Bitcoin, like many of the people I know are, yeah, you can get your tickets. They're on sale now. It's happening in October. TD Bank, strategy. It's going to be a lot of really interesting people at Industry Day, which is going to happen on Bay Street. And then the event itself is going to happen at International Center. So that will be a lot of fun. Those of you who are into that, yeah, let us know. And then last but not least, I'm going to now bring Alejandro back on stage. Hey, what's up, man?
I'm back. Thank you so much. You know what happened sometimes when you don't have good planning. I have been doing strategy and planning for years, and I cannot plan my life.
It's all good. You got to roll with the punches. And that's kind of like why I like doing live stream, because you can't do too much planning. You got to kind of roll with it. So you were talking about your time at DiDi. I mean, it's kind of interesting that you were at such an interesting company. You led what global strategy for analytics and growth marketing, right? Like what's the biggest growth lesson from moving hundreds of millions of rides that founders never see from the outside?
Well, that's a really good question. Actually, um, growth marketing was a really good path in my life because when first I was doing strategy and planning for ride hailing, right? Like for keep growing in Mexico and Latin America. And eventually I moved to the global growth marketing team, also leading the strategy and planning team. And I didn't know at that point much about growth marketing, like deep. And that was a great lesson in my life because it was to understand how to work TikTok, SEO, Facebook, Google Ads, like everything. And it's like a black box, it's like really complex. You don't have a lot of data, or really, every source have different data, and you have to analyze and take strategic decisions of millions of dollars in order to keep growing a company as DiDi. So it was like really interesting lesson and way to understand how technology and how growth works. And actually, once I end up uh, working there, um, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? And then I realized that it's not that well known what how everything works. So that's how I started to write a book that you mentioned. You can find in Amazon, which is like it has a catchy name, Alexa Make Me Rich, and it's about digital marketing and artificial intelligence. And it was a mix to understand all digital marketing, all these channels for acquisition, for growing, for exposure with all AI. So it was a really interesting mix. And now I love all what I learned about digital marketing.
Oh, I bet. What an edge. And looking back, I guess across, Bain, Time, Univision, DD, which chapter prepared you the most for founding a company, and which one nearly convinced you never to?
Which channels are better for?
Yeah. Well, no, which one prepared you the most out of all those different things you've done in the past?
So, will you repeat the question? Sorry.
Out of all the four things, that areas that you've worked in and you've done work, which of those things prepared you the most for what you're building today?
Uh, so I think I've been all this path. I have learnings for every part. But let's start. I think that I'm a mix of strategy, of digital marketing, and AI. So if you see a Venn diagram, I'm like the mix of those. And who gave me that experience? Strategy. I think I did was all my time at Bain and Televisa Univision, where I was in the strategy team. Growth marketing was a DiDi who gave me all that knowledge and understanding of that market. And then AI was, I think, that all what I learned at school 20 years ago about statistics. That gave me all the understanding of how LLMs work. And of course, like reading a lot, go read papers, but all that curiosity, um, and eager to know how this works. I think that it was starting in my university at my master's and overall all the statistical understanding. Yeah, statistics, like AI is statistics.
And Alejandro, so you wrote Alexa Make Me Rich, right? The book you were talking about before, ChatGPT, right? So what did you see in AI back then that made you write a book while everyone else was still, largely ignoring it?
Yes. So I think that Alexa Make Me Rich is a mix of a lot of knowledge. And actually starts is if you see it, I'll send you a copy, by the way. I need to it's like a mix of those three things. It has a mix of strategy and planning, because it doesn't make sense if you maybe you know perfectly how to use the ads, but if you don't know where to direct all that work, if you don't have the strategy, that will not have any sense. So I started in the book with strategy, like where to go, how to analyze, what you have to do, how to take decisions, what has better ROI, etc. Like some lessons about consulting. Then the channels, how everything works, like what are the capabilities of each channel, in what channel makes more sense for every type of company or every purpose. And at the end, AI, how you can leverage all the tools to make all the rest much more efficient. And instead of having a team like at DiDi, I used to have a team of 10 people. Um, Now I do the same, just with AI agents, just with OpenClaw and LLMs. And it's the same, like the same level of work in different channels and everything. Everything is with AI agents. Really impressive how the technology has been evolving.
Yeah, it's wild, right? So was there like a single moment, like a meeting, a project, I don't know, maybe a failure or something when you realized that AI was gonna be your life's work rather than just like a tool in your, toolkit?
Well, I have a funny thing that happened to me some months ago with AI and all the agents. I was improving the SEO in the corporative in the company website. SEO, for people who do not know, is how like how to appear in Google search, in Google or any search in better positions for the things that your company is relevant without paying, like organically, how to make that where your website is there in a really good position. That's having a good SEO. And actually now there's a concept of GEO, which is generative AI, is the same, but for LLMs. If you write in ChatGPT, whatever, that your company is there. So it's giving all the right words, content, and whatever. The issues that I was creating, like improving all the SEO for that. And I was running like agents that were scrapping like all the website, changing the wording, improving the taglines, like everything. And that day I had some discussion with my partner, and he was like kind of upset for some things. And then I was running that during the weekend, and the the website shut down. Like, I think I was running a lot of things, a lot of agents changing a lot of things that just shut down. And I was trying to fix it with vibe coding because I'm not a programmer, or I do not do hard coding. But with all the LLMs, and it's like, no, you need to find like somebody professional. So I had to go with my co-founder, who was super upset. And I said, like, oh, by the way, I just like shut down the website. Can you help me to fix it? He solved it in 2 hours, so it was really easy for him. But yeah, but well, at the end, yes, you can have those errors. Shut down with your website, create some hallucinations in the things that you wrote that are not real, things like that. You need to check. You can have a lot of problems, but it's better to face those problems that just stay in the business as usual and advance super slow. Like the things that I used to do before OpenClaw, I used to do maybe things with me and some LLM support in 3 months. Now with OpenClaw, I did it in 1 week, maybe. Really impressive, actually.
Wow. Yeah, it's wild what's happening right now. So you told me something,
It is.
counterintuitive, right? That directors are more lost in AI than their teams. When did you first see that, and why does nobody talk about it?
We have been talking with a lot of directors when we were pivoting mainly. And it was really surprising for me that their core goal was to make a company AI, to move their business as usual to AI. They were directors, like almost C-level. And maybe 80% of them, they just gave the tools to their teams to say, like, okay, now we are AI, do something for me, good luck. But they accept that they were lost in AI, and that's how we saw the opportunity. And it's really interesting, like, even that 80% of the executives, maybe 90% of the executives, they think that AI is priority, that is really relevant for the businesses. But 80% of the projects that are AI related do not release, do not see the light, because in the process, they have a lot of stoppers from mid managers and directors that do not understand the risk, that do not feel comfortable launching the projects, that they do not understand the pipeline, or overall they cannot explain how that works. That at the end is easier for them just to say, like, okay, we try it, it's interesting, but let's stop. That we will not launch this for our users. And that's, I think, for me, really surprising how it's relevant for the companies, but everything dies in the process because they do not understand really well.
So I guess let's maybe switch gears a bit. Give us the pitch. Like, what exactly is Silicon Valley Certification Hub? Like, what happens when a company gets certified by you? Can you go a little bit more into it?
So we started actually certifying executives, and you and everybody in the audience can enter our website, sbch.io, pass a test, like, there's the content, pass the test, and you get certified as a person. Now we are in process to certify companies. We still do not certify companies. We are training companies. So that's what we do. Like, we help align like, it's a process of 4 steps. First, we interview with AI agents to the directors to understand what are their priorities, their problems, where they see that artificial intelligence makes sense for them, where they see more value in their operations and processes, and so on. Then we interview their teams to understand the same, but at operational level. Then we make an assessment, we find the gaps. Like, okay, you are using AI, for example. You are using AI for writing emails. It's good, you are saving time, but that's not aligned with a priority in the company. So we create a path to make a path of learning for every individual in order to align or know more about AI in in alignment with the strategy and the main goal of their area or their CEO. And with that, we we give them a really good solution to the companies. So far, we certify the people there, but not the company per se. Not yet.
Your MBA of AI has trained over 700 executives. Like, what's the most common blind spot you see when a C-suite walks in through the door?
So the most common problem, and that's maybe hopefully nobody feel that is take it bad, but it's really common to see that politics is a really big stopper. Sometimes politics is based on the size of their teams. And like, I have a big team of 20 people, 50 people, 300 people. Like, it's relevant for them, for the C-suite and the directors. That's relevant for them. And AI could eliminate a lot of that. Like, okay, you don't need 20 people, you just need just 15, and these things of AI. And it's not just about productivity. For the business makes sense, but for their politics maybe doesn't make sense. So it's something really interesting that we discover on the process, how at the end we are humans, and at the end we are creating companies that are a mix of AI agents and people. And AI agents, yeah, they have some bias and so on, but people have more deep needs than just being productive. And that's something that it takes time to set everybody priorities, to take for aside the politics and build what makes more sense for the company and for the overall growth of everybody.
Super interesting. So you guys are bootstrapped with like 30% quarter-over-quarter growth and 20 revenue share delivery partners. Why partners instead of headcount, and why no venture capital?
That's a good question, and it's something that we are exploring. So first, the first question is like, why partners rather than full-time employees, or that are part of that? It's something that we can think in the future. So far, becoming a partner is becoming somebody with whom we have shared revenue. So with that, we align purpose from both sides. So if we sell more, we split revenues and we grow faster. And also, we live in a gig economy. So most of our partners are having other things. Most of them, for example, are professors. from top schools, and they work with companies already, giving them advice about how to implement AI. Uh, so we help them to use our frameworks, our branding, and everything, and we split revenues, and that has been really successful for us actually. Rather than full time, yes, full time could work as well, but it's something that we could explore. But so far, is I think that being a partner is deeper in purpose and align incentives. The second question about why not VC back. We talked in the past with a lot of VCs that they gave us a lot of really interesting insights, and that's how we have been pivoting the model. Uh, and eventually, when we will be in the right time to scale, we will do it. For now, we are in the process. So if I receive tomorrow, I don't know, $10 million to scale the business, I think that I'll need much more analysis of where it makes more sense to do it. I think we prefer to pivot and find the PMF and scale at that moment. We are still, even that we're having really success and a lot of really good results, we're not ready to grow exponentially, which is what VCs are looking.
Smart. Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of founders, yeah, exactly, kind of get ahead of themselves with that, right? So, 5 years out, does every company carry this like AI readiness certification the way they carry maybe like an ISO or a SOC 2 today? Like what has to happen, for that world to arrive?
For that word arrive for what type? Could you repeat
No,
that
but I guess the
question?
first question is like, do you see it like that? Like this AI readiness certification will be on the same level as like a SOC 2 or ISO?
No. You know, I think it will be complex because actually we explore to create that certification. ISO already have an AI certification, like certified companies. But also we have been thinking that now we are helping, like, yes, it needs some standards, and the ISO is really relevant. But it's not just necessary to have that level. Like the alignment with the strategy is a big gap now. That's how we focus on that nowadays. But yes, I think that eventually the ISO, like to be certified, will be really relevant for a lot of companies.
My video froze for some random reason.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
I
was trying
cannot
to
see you now.
something.
Now I feel in the spotlight.
That's kind of weird. Let me just try something.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been a interview of improvisations. Well, anyways, that was my last question. Why don't you help me land the plane? Where do people learn more about you and the company? And then, yeah, I can bring this one to an end, Alejandro.
Yeah, for sure. So, to everybody, you can find my LinkedIn. I'm Alejandro. As here is my name, Alejandro Cuauhtemoc-Mejia. It's a complicated name, Aztec, by the way. Is my last name. You can find me in LinkedIn. I post every day about artificial intelligence for AI. I have a blog there. And also, we can find our services and products at sbch.io. You can find a lot of information. Also, we have a blog there. And if you have a company that wants to align AI with strategy, reach out to us. I think that we can give you a really nice solution, and you will see the results for sure.
Awesome, Alejandro. Thank you for your time. I see this, everyone that's listening live. Thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, I'll be back in an hour or two. Then thank you, Alejandro. Alejandro, hang out maybe for 1 minute. I'll bring the stream to an end.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.